Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Are Marvel, your spot for Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom. My name is Justin.
My name is Jeremy.
And welcome to the show.
Yeah.
This is kind of our special WandaVision episode.
Yeah. It's not one of the MCU movies, I guess, that we normally were doing, but this was such a big hit, a big series. We had to put an episode out for this.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably do this with each one. And of course, obviously, as the movies pop out, fingers crossed, COVID willing, we're going to have 6 of these Disney Plus shows pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
Falcon Winter Soldier starts a week and change as of recording this.
Yes.
5 days after release. 4 days after releasing this.
The Friday after we release this, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll definitely do one for that. And then Loki, and then whatever's after that, and whatever's after that. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this was a huge hit, which we'll talk about. The first 3 episodes were kind of so what's going on with this? This is different. But after I think it was 4 where it really just was like, okay, this is big.
I'm so glad that they released the first 2 episodes together. And I think they obviously they did it intentionally, but it's like, if you just release the first episode, everyone's going to go, what?
Yeah.
I waited
I
18 months for new Marvel new Marvel content for this. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I had so many people come up to me at work and stuff and be like, I don't get it. It was so boring. It was dumb. This isn't, like, what's going on here? And it's like, just give it a minute.
Yeah, relax.
Like,
it'll get there.
Marvel has put out 23 great movies in a row and some pretty good, if not awesome TV. Like, just breathe. Okay? Just let it happen.
Yeah, attack me if episode 6 comes out and you're still confused and you didn't like it. But until then, just relax.
Summer Donna. And that's the thing. It was like, I knew it was going to be strange and weird. And that's what I was excited for with this show.
Yeah.
Because we've never seen anything like this in the MCU.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, well, what is this going to be? And the possibilities. And the thing that is worth mentioning, the rampant amount of fan theories that surrounded this show was, and I got swept up in it too. I've been writing articles for Illuminati.com. We'll be plugging them later.
Yeah.
And I wrote stuff about some of the fan theories and all that stuff. And it's hard not to. I mean, I remember, and full spoilers, if you haven't watched WandaVision yet, go watch it. Then come back. Because we're going to spoil everything.
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1 spoilers. The Pietro reveal.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing articles like, oh, if you squint your eyes and hop on one leg, you can see the outline of Mephisto, and there's, he has horns and shit. If you look through the mirror into the background, it's like, okay. Like, what?
Yeah. I saw that a few times too, where it was like, almost I was like, read anything, and it was, oh, it's Mephisto. Mephisto this, Mephisto that. Everything was just Mephisto.
And instead, red is Wanda's color.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
She's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, that's a color.
And that what pissed me off is I got swept up in it.
It was hard not to.
The only one that I think they being the show led too much into as being a possible reveal was the aerospace engineer.
Oh, yeah.
The way they kind of teed that up with Monica looking at her phone and, oh, I know somebody.
Yeah.
And then they kept bringing it up. And then really you never saw who that person was. Because originally she said he, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
And if she did, we never met that he.
Right. I don't remember if it was
person,
he or she or just...
I could swear it was he. I could be hearing things. But if it was, the general or whatever that she met with the big truck was a woman.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I could have heard it wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. And if I did, let me know. Because I'm wrong sometimes. But
more than some, sir.
Sure. I was trying to be nice. That's the only part where I was like, okay, it didn't need to be Reed Richards as much as I would have loved it.
Oh, yeah.
But it could have been somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's a random name. I saw one name. I don't even remember what it was. It was so random. But it was like, okay, that would make sense and work. And if, you know comics even more than I do, which isn't that hard to do, really, you'd know that name and go, oh, okay, that's cool, nod. But it was nobody.
Yeah. I was like, why was it just for these theories and stuff so that people would talk about it? Like, who is this? Who could this be? I mean,
I can't imagine that's the case.
Yeah.
Because if this had come out when it was supposed to, this would have been the second show. Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to be first.
Okay.
We would have already had Black Widow. I think we would be on our way to Eternals.
I think so.
This had worked out the way it was supposed to. And then Doctor Strange 2 would be somewhere soon-ish.
Okay.
Now we're like a year away from Doctor Strange 2. Which sucks, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
But all in all, I love this show.
Yes. And I'm gonna go back to where the beginning, I guess, kind of when we first sat down, me and my wife sat down to watch this. I had no idea. I was excited for it. I was expecting good things. And that first episode kind of happened, and it wasn't what I expected. I knew that there were the black and white stuff because of the trailers.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect the whole episode to just be that.
Right.
And so, getting ready for the second one, I was like, all right, well, that was different than what I expected. She's like, that was not what I was expecting either. And so, it was, we went to the second one and it was still not what I expected, but it was still good. It's still an interesting show and story. And I was excited to see how this would all play out. But I just, I can agree with a lot of people where this isn't what we expected, because all the movies are just boom, 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 go, go, go. And this was a slow burn kind of.
Well, and I think that's what Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be too.
Okay.
Because it's 6 episodes instead of 9. They're longer episodes. Each one of these is roughly 6 hours long. So if you put together all of the half hours of the 9 episodes, you get there about 6 hours.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that first episode ended, and I think what saved it for me was the dinner with the hearts, and when the guy starts choking on the strawberry, and Deborah Jo Rupp just gets super creepy, and she's saying, stop it. It's so unsettling. And he's choking, and she's smiling, but saying stop it, like she's telling Wanda to stop. And it's just like, I don't know, there was something about it. I guess we can just get into the episodes now, since we're practically there anyway.
Let's do it.
This one was episode 1, filmed before a live studio audience. It's modeled after the Dick Van Dyke Show and several others. And yeah, I mean, like I said, most of the episode is just a quaint, fun, Dick Van Dyke Show style show.
Yeah.
There's a few in-jokes and, like Wanda saying he has an indestructible head when his head, kind of like exploded in Infinity War. But there's really not a lot there.
Right.
To really suck you in. But that dinner scene, it's so unsettling.
It was, yes.
Because and especially first time watching, it's like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Is this guy going to die? Like, is their cover going to be blown in this first episode, and then it's all hell breaks loose? I mean, what is this? And it was so weird, that instant, like, oh, he's done choking, and they're like, okay, well, we got to go now.
Yeah. It was. It just, you're right. And, even just thinking about that scene and just how creepy she was, just, laughing and stop it. And it was just unsettling. That's a good word for it. Because just like, okay, that's not a normal thing to be doing, like to be laughing while your husband's choking and to be telling him to stop it. It's like, you don't think he would be if he could? And
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I don't think that's why, especially after rewatching it, she wasn't talking to him. She was talking to her.
Right. Yeah. And at the time,
and it was like, Yeah, at the time we didn't know that.
Right.
I kind of thought, because, I mean, we kind of, at least I had an idea that Wanda was the one doing this. Because I know her hex powers are, somewhat reality bendy. So it's like, she has to at least be partially responsible for this.
Yeah.
So I kind of pieced it together a little bit, but I didn't realize quite the gravity of it until, of course, episode, 7, 8, when they reveal, she's doing it all.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But yeah, it's super creepy, and I love it. And I liked Scarlet Witch's turn too, because she's, playing the Susie Homemaker, and then she turns and she's like, "Okay, Vision, help him."
Yeah.
Like, okay, enough of this TV show shit. Like, okay, let's be heroes and help him not die.
Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of thinking back now, I think my first thoughts with this was that it was almost Coulson in the Paradise or whatever it was, where she was under some sort of, like, she just went crazy and insane after, I guess it would have been after Infinity War.
Endgame.
Would it be after Endgame or Infinity War? I was
Endgame.
Okay.
Because she snapped away in Infinity War, so unless this is where
That's
was during the snap, which isn't the case.
Yeah, and that was another kind
Endgame.
of a theory that I saw out there too, but it was somewhere in there where I kind of thought it was where she was kind of being almost brainwashed into thinking that this is her life, not all the crazy stuff that happened before, and watching Vision die right in front of her and all that kind of stuff, where this is it. And so the Dottie kind of saying, was it Dottie? Was that her first name?
For the blonde chick in episode 2?
No, that's not who I'm thinking of. The Mrs. Hart who was telling him to stop it.
Oh,
so
Mrs.
it was almost
Foreman
like
from that '70s show.
Yeah. That kind of took me out of it for a sec, but she did great. So it was almost that at the time I was thinking that she's saying stop it, like stop it, you're going to blow our cover. She's going to realize that this is all a dream or made up or something. That was kind of where I went with that first bit. And, obviously...
That's what I thought in episode 3.
Okay.
And we'll get there. But when Agnes and Cliff, I want to say his name is, the neighbor guy.
I think it's Cliff.
When they were talking and she was like, "Shut up, you're going to blow our cover." I was like, oh, okay, so is this a sword simulation? Or...
Yes, yeah.
We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
So episode 2.
Episode 2, called Don't Touch That Dial. It's kind of based off Bewitched. Which some of these were kind of a reminiscence. I used to watch these older shows when I was younger on, I think it was TV Land or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this kind of brought back some fond memories. So they had the awkward planning committee where Dottie accuses Wanda. Jimmy Woo on the radio. Geraldine and Monica are introduced. Or Geraldine, who is Monica, is introduced.
Yeah.
Do we want to just start there, or?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right.
This isn't a script; it's more talking points. So it's just,
fair enough.
Go with the flow. Go as you will.
Yeah. So the planning committee was odd, especially with me thinking this was all a simulation for Wanda. It's like, all right, well, that's not checking out now. Like, this is not panning out. Like, they'd be more focused on Wanda if that was the case.
Yeah, but then you also have Wu, who I did pick up his voice. I mean, I knew he was in the show, so it helped.
Yeah, I did not pick up his voice.
Yeah. When he's talking on the radio, and at that point, we see in episode 4, they think that someone's doing this to her. He's going, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" It's like, oh, okay, so someone is keeping her here.
Right.
Like, this isn't her,
or
maybe it's partially her, but someone is forcing her to do this.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I think that's where the Mephisto stuff started to come in.
Oh, okay. That early for you or for others?
I think for everybody. I mean, even me, it was like I had a hard time thinking Wanda would be the only bad guy. I knew Agnes was Agatha.
Okay.
But in the comics, she can be a good guy. Like, she was the nanny for the Fantastic Four, and, she, like, helped Wanda, learn her powers and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, if she's... And even in the first couple episodes, she acts like she's trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want Wanda to be caught, without dinner, so she brings over dinner.
Yeah.
She's doesn't want Wanda to look like an idiot during the planning committee thing, so she kind of helps, scoot her along there.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like she was trying to ease her through this experience.
Yeah.
And then we find out that's obviously not the case. It was...
Yeah. Yeah. With a whole little theme song and everything, we figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Which did get stuck in my head for a little bit. I think a lot of people did too. I think it like charted even. It was on some charts. We'll talk about that more.
With us, it's been the theme song for this episode, the WandaVision, WandaVision.
Oh, really?
That still gets stuck in my head. WandaVision.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. It's not on the talking point. It's random, but somebody put out a video where the line of last week on or previously on WandaVision, where every episode, and I think it was like up to episode 4 or 5, each time she would get a little bit more like annoyed sounding, just because as you're watching, things aren't going her way and it's not happening how she expects it. So it makes sense where every episode is a little bit more like previously on WandaVision. It's just a slight tone change of like, this is what happened last time. Nobody's doing what I want. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, so if I remember, I'll put out a link for that. If not, look it up now. Pause and come back.
Yeah.
Unless you're
and it's worth noting, like, I was going to go through the whole cast earlier, but I decided to skip it. Like, everybody does such a good job.
They do. Yeah.
And Elizabeth Olsen should get an award of some kind for this, because she's just... I mean, Paul Bettany's always great, and everyone does a good job, but Elizabeth Olsen is pulling overtime on this one, and it is just, like, fantastic, especially by 8, and you see her break down at the plot for the house.
Yeah,
like,
it's
fantastic.
She did great. Yeah, she put... I mean, it really did. It looked like it felt like it was her going through this. Like, she did an amazing job of that range of emotions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we are going to talk about the commercials, but I left that for the end.
Okay.
So they'll all be in a little block at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely teed it up to where it's like Dottie, because even like Agatha's talking shit about Dottie. She's really kind of like a focal point of the episode.
Yeah.
And I read, or I saw a headline of an article where it was like she was kind of a purposeful misdirect.
Okay.
Of like, oh, it's, she's up to something.
Yeah.
But she's only in 2 episodes.
I know. I thought, it was kind of surprising that that's all she was in, because I was along for that. Like, they got me. It's like, okay,
me too.
What is this Dottie?
It's like, who's Agatha going to be? I think because we have a group chat that we do for everyone that podcasts, all us guys, and one of the things I was like, oh, is she going to be Clea from Doctor Strange, like who's Dormammu's like daughter in the comics? Like, is that where this is going? Because I know she's going to be in Doctor Strange too. So is this how they're going to connect it?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. This is all we'll be getting of her. Thank you, though. I guess episode 8 or 9, her face is there, but yeah, like I did expect more from Dottie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they got us for an episode or 2. All right. Now, so what did you think about the gum in Vision and that kind of making him drunk almost?
It was funny, but got kind of old. I'm glad that these earlier episodes were shorter.
Yeah.
Because the tone of everything and the pacing of everything, it's like, this is definitely... They did a great job, because it feels like an old show, because I'm tired of watching it. Like...
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. And the way they showed it with like a drawing and it going in and grinding, stopping his gears, like that was very old timey, and it was funny. It was entertaining, but I agree. It was like, okay, like get past this. You know.
I'm glad it was just for the magic act scene.
Yeah.
Because if it had gone on after that, it would have been like, okay, enough's enough. Let's move on and do something better with this. But it was it helped play into that. Oh, they're trying to hide who they are.
Yeah,
and make like that's what this show is about for some reason. Obviously, that ends up not being the case, but
yeah. And then with all the magic tricks working, even though they weren't supposed to be, like things weren't going how they were, that still had me on the whole. It's a simulation of some sort, and that's why they're working, because the simulation has them working.
Yeah.
But again, as we find out later on, it was Agatha all along. So,
well, and that doesn't make. I almost want to watch just that episode again, because when they say it was Agatha all along, it's like, was it though?
I think maybe don't do that.
I know,
because you might find out. No, it wasn't. So just
it wasn't. I mean, that's the thing.
Wasn't.
It was Scarlet Witch all along, but Agatha was stoking the fire.
Yeah,
I guess would be the way to put it.
Right.
We'll get to it later, I guess.
Right.
But,
okay. And then I was gonna say
at
the end here, with the beekeeper showing up, that was creepy. First of all, like just some guy in a bee suit with literal bees around him crawling out of the sewer. I was like, okay, what is going on? Who is this? What? And I mean, we find out why he looks like he's in a bee suit, but at the time,
we never find out what happened to him.
No, we don't. But
the loose end is like, what the hell happened to the beekeeper guy?
Where's the beekeeper? But I was like, okay, I need who is this? Like, who is this in the comics? What is going on? Like, what do I need to know? Yeah,
nothing.
Nothing panned out.
No. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you can see the sword emblem on his back, and we forgot to mention this in the first episode. Ends with what we later find out is Darcy sitting at a desk watching the monitor of the show, and we see the sword emblem on like a coffee cup or something.
Right, yeah.
And then Wanda sees the beekeeper, and Vision's like, what the hell is this about? And Wanda says no, and rewinds time.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome.
It was. Yeah. But again, more questions. I was like, okay, what? How?
Well, and that made me go, that's the tip for she's doing this.
Okay, yeah.
If she can rewind time and erase that from happening, that means she's controlling it.
That's fair. For me, it was, because, again, at the time, it was, she's in a simulation. It's like, wait, now what? Like, that just blew my whole theory out of the water. Because how does her just saying no? Like, is the simulation mean like, oh, she didn't like that, or this wasn't supposed to happen, so rewind. So I mean, it was part of me was still kind of pulling that string, but it's like, no, this isn't panning out. Like, things aren't adding up the way they should. So, it was creepy.
Yeah, super creepy. And then by the end of it, she's pregnant,
right?
And she puts everything in color.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
Yeah,
which leads into episode 3, now in color, which is very Partridge Family, Brady Bunchy, and we get to enjoy Wanda's very rapid pregnancy.
Yeah, because it wasn't time going by; it was literal from one moment to the next.
Yeah, she was growing, and then pop.
Yeah,
and I mean, we knew this was coming from the trailers. We knew that she was going to be pregnant at one point or another, have the kids at one point or another. We never saw the kids in the trailers,
right?
Just like floating pacifiers in the cribs at one point, which ends up being the next episode. But for me, I mean, knowing the comics, it was like, oh, okay, because we'll get Wiccan and we'll get Speed, I think is the other kid's name.
Yeah.
And they're Young Avengers in the comics. And it's like, okay, so this is how they're going to explain that. But
yeah.
I did really like this episode. It was not my favorite, but especially again towards the end when things start to go off the rails, because like you have, maybe it's Herb. Herb is the neighbor. I said Cliff. Yeah. It's Herb.
I think, yeah. Cliff sounds good.
I've been watching too much Cheers.
Sure. As one does.
I did. I watched all 11 seasons like a couple months ago.
Jeez.
It was quite something.
Listen to our other podcast.
It's better when
Cheers the podcast. I don't know.
Not a bad idea.
I'm sure there's
I'd rather do Frasier though.
Fair enough.
But at the beginning when Vision is out in the front yard and Herb is trimming the bushes and then he just keeps grinding into the wall.
Yeah.
And he just has this really creepy smile as he continues to grind into the wall with this saw thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on here?
Yeah. It's like, explain yourselves. There were so many times at the beginning here, it was like, explain why this is happening. Explain the beekeeper. Explain why he's doing this. Like, and I don't think we ever got these answers, which they're not really that important in the big scheme of things, but still, it was I think what's going on?
I think the answer is Wanda wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Like, because if you look at episode 6 or 7, 6,
yeah,
the Halloween one, when Vision goes to the edge of town and there are people that are, just doing a repetitive motion and like openly crying because they can't stop. Yeah. And the people even further out are just standing there, unable to move.
Yeah.
It's like Wanda wasn't paying attention to the mechanics of what everyone should be doing in that scene.
Yeah.
Because she was dealing with her labor stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So he was grinding through. The only thing I don't get is Agatha going up to Herb and telling him to stop. Because he was trying to almost explain to Vision what was going on, and Agatha, like, it's like she wants to tip Wanda over the edge, but not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Do you think maybe she was able to take control of him, and he was going to then explain, well, this is what's going on, but then she, I guess, almost commanded him to stop.
Probably. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, again,
I just don't get why.
To have these questions of what's going on, why stop
to drag the series up to 9 episodes.
Well, I don't know if it's that, but I think it's more just to leave you questioning, like what is really going on. Which
they definitely did a good job. Of that, like up until. Yeah, I mean, even after 4, when everything is kind of revealed, it's like, what the hell is the deal? And even when they explain everything in 4, they still don't really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's trippy. And then, by the end of the episode, Wanda's giving birth, and then we get the best part of the episode, which is, Geraldine in the room with Wanda holding the babies, and Wanda like reminisces about Pietro.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it's the first time since Age of Ultron Pietro has been acknowledged as existing.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, you could argue that, she just talked about him at other points. But I mean, okay. Sure, maybe.
I mean, that's why I love. Yeah. This is the first canonical point where she actually acknowledges that she had a brother at some point. And that's why I loved 8 so much, filling in those gaps of her grief of losing him was like, oh my God, finally.
Right.
Like, this should have been a scene in Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have helped. Because, there was almost no mention of it. I mean, there was no mention of him.
No, not really.
The closest
they mentioned Ultron a little bit, but...
Yeah, I mean, the closest would be, Hawkeye's son's name, because I think he had a onesie, he had his name on there. Yeah. That'd be the closest.
But even that was at the end of Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah. That's right, it was. I rewatched that recently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
to me, it's calling it the Sokovia Accords, and when they show Wanda the footage from Sokovia and she kind of looks away, it's like, that's really all we've gotten of her remembering that time.
Right. Yeah.
But it was fucking awesome. And just hearing the Ultron name drop.
Yeah.
Like, I love Ultron, so anytime they can bring him in is just gravy for me.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good, and that was when she. It was at the end of that, right, where she knocked Monica.
Monica?
Yeah.
Technically, yes, but we don't see that. Because she gets that pissed off look in her eye of like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then they cut back to Vision. And
I thought they did. I thought she did come out of it, and that's the last that we saw. I don't know.
We never see what happens to her until episode 4.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which we need to get through these because we're already a half hour into this.
All right. Yes. So
let's ramp through some stuff.
All right. Episode 4. We interrupt this program. Monica and others return from the blip. Maria is dead, and we have codename Photon at Sword. So let's start off with that stuff.
Yeah.
I did like that they kind of showed, this is kind of what it looked like when people came back. That they just kind of reappeared where they were in that kind of chaos. And I think if they tried to go too deep into that, you'd be like, all right, well, what about people that, like in a plane? Are they now reappearing in the plane where it is?
I would assume so.
So trying to.
I think Kevin Feige said they're in the plane where they were.
Okay.
Like where the plane is now.
Okay.
Because otherwise there'd be a lot of people
just
dying
falling out of the sky. Yeah.
Falling out of the sky.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of fascinating, and it was kind of sad, kind of finding out this is how she finds out that her mom has passed away. So it was kind of tough.
Well, yeah, and just finding out that she's that character has died in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like you never know what Captain Marvel 2 was going to be, but it's like, oh, okay, well then she's gone.
Yeah.
So that's something. And then I noticed, I think like the second or third time I watched the episode, one of the names that Monica has as a superhero is Photon. And the call sign for Maria was Photon.
Right.
They never really bring that up in WandaVision, but I imagine it will be a thing in Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Or Secret Invasion.
Yeah, because is her name now Spectrum? Isn't that what I read?
I think so. She's had like 5 different names.
Yeah, I've heard she's
including Captain Marvel at one point. So
I think I read it was at Spectrum now. All right, more stuff we got here. So it's been about a week since Endgame. So that was kind of nice. We kind of get a time frame of how long it's been and what's going on where and all that.
And it also means that it's before Far From Home.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yes.
So all that talk, and that's the thing, like all that talk of multiverse from Mysterio, it was horseshit in that movie, but that made me think, okay, is this a multiverse thing? Especially when Pietro shows up, like, are we doing multiverse stuff? Because Mysterio mentioned it, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
nope.
and Pietro is from he's a different Quicksilver. That's another multiverse. So yeah.
We'll get there. But
that didn't go anywhere. So Jimmy Woo and Darcy introduced. Recap kind of 1 through 3 from Source perspective. I really like that too, to kind of see like, okay, well, this is what's been going on outside of the Hex, and this is how
when you
catching us up.
Yeah, and when you see the red and gold sword helicopter in episode 2, it was really a drone that Wanda repurposed into a toy helicopter that would fit that time.
Right, yeah. And I still think it was strange that it was colored.
Yeah, and they never really explain it.
Okay, they didn't. That's what,
They mention it. It was like, why is it, why did you color the image? And they're like, I didn't. And that's all they say about it. But I think it's just... I think it's something that Wanda wasn't fully controlling.
Okay. Because it escaped
would be my guess. Maybe? Yeah, and so I think just the process of entering the Hex, because we saw that with the armored truck thing, just going through the Hex turned it into half of a pickup truck.
Right.
So I think just going through the Hex changed it.
Okay.
And, it wasn't in Wanda's show, so she didn't turn it into black and white.
Right. So it changed going through that kind of barrier, but not.
Yeah, like Monica, changed it, her structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let that go. Yeah. So we got here. Wanda's controlling the Hex, Flash of Dead, and Gray Vision. Now, you said you really liked that part.
It was so cool.
It was cool. Yeah, but
I'm a horror guy. Go over and listen to Pod and Gore, my other podcast where we talk horror movies. I love that kind of stuff. And it was because again, the theory at the time, or one of the questions at the time, was okay. So how is Vision still alive?
Yes,
like he very obviously died at the end of Infinity War. How is he walking and talking?
Yeah,
and they also show security footage. Hayward shows security footage of Wanda breaking into S.W.O.R.D., and he says that she took his body.
Yeah. Have you seen the meme?
But they never show it.
Yeah. All the agents like kind of like side eyeing, like, no, she didn't. Why'd you say that?
That's a weird thing to say. We have his body right in the back. It's white now.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, he tells us, the audience, that she took the body, and so it's like, oh, okay, so she stole his body, repurposed it, and is making it alive now.
Yeah, like
so
puppeteering it almost. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and so at the time it was like, oh, maybe she lost control right there of the reality she's creating, and that's the real Vision body that she's animating, and we just got a glimpse of it. But that's not true either.
Yeah. Nope. A lot of theories, not of wrong theories. I know this guy had a lot of wrong ones.
Well, they're awesome scenes, like especially in the next couple episodes when they show the bullet-riddled Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's something Agatha did, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
But why? To like just piss her off, I guess?
Yeah, I don't maybe make her think she's going crazy, and I don't know.
Because I think the point of Agatha, and it's kind of starting to sound like we're shitting on this show, but we're not, because I love it so much.
Yeah,
but it's like, I think the point of it was she's trying to pry her out of this reality she's creating and figure out how she did it.
Okay. Yeah.
And, she needs to snap her out of it. Because, if she's still in this daze of, oh, I'm in a TV show, she's not going to divulge all of her, secret ways of how she did it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'd assume it's her way of nudging her towards reality.
Okay. So then she can do what she does kind of later on in the episode. Okay.
Because especially with Quicksilver, like, he flat out asks, like, how did you do this?
Yeah. Like, hey, where have the kids been this whole time? And, well, hey, you can't die twice. And yeah. Like he went right after her. And again, it was Agatha going after her, I guess.
Yeah. Because she was controlling Boner.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into 5. We'll move on to that.
Yeah, on a very special episode, it's very Family Ties-esque, and we see the babies very quickly grow into 10, 12-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Hayworth says that Wanda stole the body. The only thing I wanted to kind of point out is that Sparky is the name of the dog in the Vision comic book.
Okay.
That's where that comes from. And in the comic, he's a green, like, android dog.
Oh, okay. Of course he's an android dog.
Yeah. And it ends with them drone striking Wanda, and she gets super pissed. And this is pretty much where we reveal that it is, in fact, Wanda. And she is very aware of what she is doing, and she's okay with it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, most of the episode is...
I was going to say, this is where, like, everything just gets blown out. Like, hey, all those theories, at least for me, is like, all those theories you had and thinking it was this or that, possibly. Nope. It's her. She's doing it on purpose. She knows what she's doing. Yeah. It was an awesome scene. Just...
Yeah.
The way she brought it out and the way she controlled them all to then point the guns at Hayward, and yeah. And I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if she was going to have him shoot him or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured not. But
she definitely turned that kind of villain switch on, and it was like, oh shit, like she really has kind of gone crazy here. Yeah. And they sneak the accent back in, which I love that they poke fun at that.
Yes.
Like, your accent really seems to kind of come and go.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Like It does. Like, it's super thick in Age of Ultron, and then it's kind of gone.
Yeah.
And then it kind of shows up in Infinity War, but then it's kind of gone again.
Yeah, and at that age, it's
I
not
hope
something that kind of goes away like that.
no. I yeah. I mean, I think it's just like she's trying to Americanize herself, but when she gets super pissed, it's like when English is your second language and you're trying to speak English all the time, but when you get really pissed, it's
you start, you mix it together, or you start to go in your native tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Okay.
I guess that's how I'm going to rationalize it. Maybe they'll have her talking Sokovian in Multiverse of Madness. Who knows?
Yeah, that works.
But my favorite part is the ending when Vision confronts Wanda. And they have their first kind of tiff, and Vision's like, I'm scared. I don't know who I am, where I come from. I don't remember anything before this place. There's no kids outside. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that scene because it's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was worried, almost worried at that. I was like, okay, well, this is it. Like she's got to give in and tell him what's going on. Like, she can't just keep going on like that. So it was,
and technically she doesn't, but she does also kind of, yeah.
Yeah, she kind of does.
the illusion between, or the kind of shroud over Vision is gone.
Yeah.
At this point, and Vision's like, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not worried about hiding him anymore, for sure.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get the Evan Peters reveal, which I still don't... I loved it, but again, it's great if it's a multiverse thing.
Yeah.
If not, why? Bring Aaron Taylor Johnson back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand. I thought that too. I was like, oh, awesome. It's got to be multiverse. Like, he's the Quicksilver in another multiverse. Yeah. And now they're saying he's the same point person. Of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we come to find out it's like, nah, he's Boner.
Yep.
Okay, well, who's Boner? No one? Cool, okay. Why?
A guy.
Yeah. It's like, why
well, even like his first name, I'm not remembering, but
Ralph?
Ralph. Ralph is the name of Agatha's husband or brother in the comics, and he's like a demon or something.
Okay.
So, there was a part of me that was like, oh, well, if he's Ralph, then he could be Ralph disguised as Evan Peters for some reason, as Quicksilver, and then later could be revealed that he was this evil demon. But no, he was just Boner.
Nope. Guess again.
And, they could always say that the Evan Peters Quicksilver exists in a multiverse. There's been rumblings that Chris Evans might show up in Multiverse of Madness as Human Torch.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's not true. But if they can do that, then they can say he's Boner in this universe, but he's Quicksilver in the Fox X-Meniverse.
Yeah. It's still...
I guess.
It'd be a stretch. And yeah, that's how I would probably... Okay. I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess who else would you have brought in?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay.
Like, why not?
Yeah, that is true. Why not?
I like their reasoning of, his body was on another continent and he's been dead for several years, so that's why we couldn't use his body. But it's magic. He could just look like him.
Okay, here's a question for you. A theory here.
Uh-huh.
So maybe Agatha, this is a big stretch. Agatha saw him as Quicksilver in another multiverse. But again, then it's like, oh, so what are the odds he's living in this town?
Yeah.
And then that's why she's like, hey, he was a Quicksilver in another multiverse, so I'll make him Quicksilver in this one.
Could be. I mean, they do definitely open-end it so that Agatha could come back.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's not gone. She's still there.
No.
I don't. That's again. That's a stretch, and it's like
episode
sure.
6.
Go with that.
Yeah. Why
all right,
not?
episode
Until we're
6.
proven wrong.
Yeah, that's right. All new Halloween Spooktacular. This is very Malcolm in the Middle.
I love
reminiscent
that.
and breaking the fourth wall and everything. I don't know if we talk about that, but yeah. So Wanda and Vision are still fighting. I'd say bickering at this point.
Yeah.
Vision wanders Westview to investigate, and he sees people barely moving, like we mentioned before, where some of them just repeating the same motion with the hanging of lights, some of them not moving at all.
Mm-hmm. I like the one where she was just hanging the thing repeatedly, and you could see a tear go down her face. Like, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, God, just being tortured.
Yeah.
That was where it was like, Wanda, what are you doing to these people?
Mm-hmm.
Because they kind of had hints at that, I feel like, previously, but in this one, it was big time. Like, what are you doing to these people, Wanda? Like, how are you hurting them? Like, what's going on?
And we later find out, like, yes.
Yeah, emotionally, for sure. I don't...
Well, and even in the last episode when Vision talks to the guy that he works with, when they were looking at the computer, or maybe it was a couple episodes before that even, and he touches his head, and, the real him comes out, and he's like, I'm in pain. Like, this is, what's going on? This hurts. She's hurting me. Like, yeah. That's bad stuff.
All right. What else we got here? Wanda, Pietro, and the boys go to a block party. And this is where Pietro is questioning Wanda on, like, how she's controlling the town, where she asks, where have all these kids been? Like, this is the first time we're seeing them. Like, nice of you to let them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
like,
that was...
really showing just how bad Wanda is being.
Yeah, because up to that point, they mentioned, what was it, that the meeting thing they were at was for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But, then it was like, well, where are these kids? Like, yeah, because
that really creepy chanting in episode 2 at the magic show where they go, for the children, for the children. Yeah. And that didn't end up meaning anything. Like, that was really strange and ended up not mattering at all.
Yeah, that's true.
We could do a whole episode just on the weird theories that come up with every single episode.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Maybe if we're struggling for a bonus.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll call it a boner bonus. Maybe not. The boys develop their powers. Yeah. So yeah, this is where we see, I guess it would be Speed and Wiccan, I guess, kind of appearing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. That I was hoping for more, but it makes sense why there can't be more. I mean, they're only alive because they're in this hex. She made them, essentially. But it would have been nice to see that kind of amount to more, because they're good actors. They did a great job,
and it still could. I mean, when we get to the finale in about a half hour, we'll talk about it. But it is a thing. Yeah, we need to speed through. We're getting this long. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential though, and the Wiccan kid was wearing a Halloween costume very reminiscent of his suit.
Yes.
In Young Avengers.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I saw the comic kind of pictures next to him, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was subtle enough where it was like, okay, it's where, and that's what I like, is that it makes sense that they're wearing that and that it's comic accurate. It's not just, oh, this looks cheesy in the real world. It works in the comics because those are comics, but it still worked out.
Yeah.
And the last part here, Vision breaks through the edge of Westview and breaks apart, so Wanda expands the hex.
Which was awesome. Yeah,
it was an awesome scene. Where and again, Vision being Vision, looking out for others before himself, save the people. And that was another part. I was like, well, why is he breaking apart? Like, what is going on? Like, is her powers making it so he can't leave? Because as far as we know, she took the real Vision. So it's like, why is he falling apart like this? So that was super fascinating. And the way she expanded it just looked cool. And everything that happened from it. And
everything turning into a circus, which I thought was a nice little commentary on Sword.
It was. Yeah, all these clowns. It was good.
Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall, very reminiscent of Modern Family. And I actually got my wife and I to start watching Modern Family. It is hilarious if you haven't watched it.
Yeah. I'll watch it here and there every once in a while, and I always think, I should just start this from the beginning.
Yeah. It's been really good.
Nice.
And Wanda's going through like this depression, and she's kind of losing control of Westview, and things are changing. Like in her hand, the jug of milk changes like 3 different times.
Yeah.
and the TV turns from a newer TV to an older black and white TV.
Yeah. And then she
And
kind
we
of
get
like stops it and changes it all back, and you
Yeah.
can kind of tell she's kind of losing control of stuff. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, and we have the Vision Darcy road trip, which was hilarious.
It was,
and awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I love that
the
Wanda
talking to the camera.
Yeah, and then the way just Wanda kept putting the little things in her way to just she wanted a time away from him. She was like, "I'm annoyed with you right now. Just stay away. Stop trying to come back."
Yeah,
it was funny.
So the dogs and the road work and everything.
Yeah. The light changing and yeah. That's good. Now I do have a question on Darcy. Is the suit, that kind of suit that she's wearing, is that just because it changed? Does that have any comic
as far as I can
connection?
tell, it's all just because it's the circus and it's like a circus thing. I think we've discovered in a recent episode, Darcy was just created for the movies. I think she's been brought into the books a little bit now, but she's not a comic book character.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, that answers that.
Yeah. We also see Monica, finally getting her powers. She's trying to, help Wanda and be like, oh my God, Hayward's being a dickhead and he's going to try and destroy Westview to get to you. Yeah. And all of this crazy shit's going on. And so she, walks through the hex wall, and we get like audio clips from Captain Marvel and her mom talking and some Nick Fury dialogue, and
yeah,
she breaks through and can. I don't really know her powers, but it's like she can see energy and control it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I saw, is that she can control energy.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. So we'll see where that leads.
Well, if you go back to my sequel, you'll know where I think it might lead. Go back to the sequel episode.
all of you out there, go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even her sword suit is like that shirt that she's always wearing is very reminiscent of her superhero outfit.
Right.
Which leave it to Marvel to do that kind of shit.
Exactly. You say like that, of course, that's just perfect. Like, hey, toss this on. They do. Oh, it just happens to look exactly like what you wear in the comics. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I love that they just fit it in. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it works perfect, and you don't think twice about it.
Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, I'm sorry we're speeding through these, but this is taking longer than I wanted it to. We get Wanda trapped in Agatha's basement, and the now epic theme song, It Was Agatha All Along. And she's imprisoned the boys and Wanda.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. Like, I remember when it happened, my wife was like, are you, was it good ending? Like, are you excited? Is it? And it's like, I'm not, it was one of those surprises where it's like, I'm not like, holy crap, Hydra is controlling S.H.I.E.L.D. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
It was like, I knew that's who she was. I knew she was Agatha Harkness. I just didn't know she would be a bad guy.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, okay. They're doing that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah. That's the direction they went. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I had a feeling that it was Agatha Harkness too, only because, again, so many people had that same theory, and the whole Agnes. Yeah. Agnes, and how the word just kind of split, pretty much took the two names, put them in, made them one. But I mean, it was still interesting to me, where I thought, okay, well, how much has she been controlling? Like, how much has been Agatha all along? So I thought that was fascinating to kind of find that out. Yeah. I was excited for it.
Episode
8 with Previously On, where I'm sure she was very annoyed at this point saying that. So we find out that Agatha was a witch in 1693, who turned on her coven and drained their powers and life. I thought that was very cool to see that kind of throwback. And yeah, witches are a thing. Agatha was one. And,
yeah. And it's true to the books for the most part too. She was a witch, and they did attempt to kill her. I don't think it was her coven. It was just like Salemers.
Okay.
And it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So the whole, like, it turning the evil side to it Made it a lot more interesting, though.
Yeah, it was cool. We had Wanda's family time watching old TV shows. The Stark bomb, she used her powers to keep it contained. Now, I didn't see that part. I still thought that it was just a misfire almost.
A dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, and they kind of hint of, I don't know, they don't full out say it, but they do at the same time. Like Agatha says, so you kept the bomb from going off.
See, no, I took that as Agatha thinks that, but it didn't really happen because Agatha thinks, oh, well, you know you're a witch this whole time. You've had these powers forever. I thought it was kind of Agatha kind of trying to confirm her theories almost.
And that's the thing, it could be. And that's what's interesting about this episode. I mean, one, I love that it's finally, giving us those moments between movies to explain her more and get that connection.
Yeah.
I love that this is where the TV show stuff comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if she's a witch all along, now that they have the X-Men, they could backdoor them into being mutants.
Okay. Yeah.
In theory. They don't show Pietro do anything.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. That definitely would have been like, oh, okay, they've had these powers all along, but I don't think they intended to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be weird to see where they go and how they end up shoehorning in mutants all along.
Yeah. Nice. Well played. Yeah, because I mean, we thought that with the whole multiverse that could have done that, but that's...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still good. We'll see.
Yeah.
The next part where they're experimented on by Hydra with the scepter, Mind Stone amplifies powers, and she sees future self in the costume in the light, which is actually a very cool scene.
Yeah.
And again, it was cool to see it because all we saw was a teaser at the end of I don't even remember
Winter Soldier.
Was it Winter Soldier?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's pretty much it as far as experimentations.
And then they're on the loose.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool to kind of see. So this is how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't know that they volunteered, but that's really all we knew. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, definitely.
The Avengers compound, watching TV with Vision, bonding over grief and love, persevering. Which it was a great line.
Yeah.
Like
every time Paul Bettany gets to be philosophical, and we'll get to that more in episode 9.
Yeah.
It's just like he's so great as Vision.
Yeah. He is. I know you love him as Vision, and you love Vision, and it's
Vision.
Yeah, it was a great line. That's gonna be everywhere now. Like I'm gonna see it on shirts and everything. Along with the I Love You 3000 was one, and so
no,
I'm okay with it.
Persevering.
Yeah,
I am too.
Then we see that Sword is dismantling Vision, and they let Wanda see him but not take him to bury him, and she has that he asked her before, what do you feel, and she says, I just feel you, or what do you see, or something like, I just feel you.
Yeah.
And then where she says here, I can't feel you, it was, I mean, even now it's like, it's sad. It is. He's sad. Gone for sure. Like she's trying to see, like there's got to be a part of you in there still, and that was pretty much her finding out. No, you're gone. I can't feel you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was tough.
And then we get the even more heartbreaking moment in Westview.
Yeah, Westview, where she and Vision were going to build a house and live together. She goes there and releases intense energy that builds the house, restores Vision, and creates the hex. Yeah, actually, I think it was today where I saw, it was just a picture of them right before they got attacked in Infinity War, where he's talking about like, hey, let's just go away. And it's like, that's the moment. Like, if they would have just left 5 minutes earlier, like they would have been gone, living here in Westview, and just like
maybe, or Thanos' children would have gone to Westview and destroyed New Jersey.
Okay, maybe. Freaking jerk. No, they're going with mine. Okay, they could have been happily ever after living in Westview.
If Thanos hadn't shown up, they could have been in Westview living happily ever after.
I'm editing that out.
I would.
You're not going to ruin everyone else's dreams. Yeah, so I thought that was very cool that somebody pointed that out. And yeah, that's probably like right before then was when he got that plot and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you were saying at the beginning, she deserves awards and accolades for this performance. Like, man,
especially this episode.
Yeah,
like she's just fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Next here we got Agatha name drops a being of spontaneous creation, chaos magic, the Scarlet Witch. So we finally get that name. Like everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people know Wanda Maximoff as the Scarlet Witch. But really looking back, it's like no, everyone just calls her Wanda or Maximoff. Yeah.
I mean, even on toys, like the few Marvel Legends and things that I own of her, it says Scarlet Witch, but it's like they never call her that.
Yeah,
ever. She just wears red a lot.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, now we have that name and kind of that origin. So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
And we get this big, I mean, not a huge reveal because I think this was the teaser for episode 7 at the end here, where Sword has made White Vision in what the remains of in the hexed drone.
Yeah.
So the remains of Vision and the hexed drone. There.
Yeah. I don't remember this being teased at all, and so when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, so this is what they're doing.
Oh, really? You didn't see it the after credits or mid credits, that part? Or is this that part?
Well, yeah. That's okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember that,
yeah,
too.
8 and 9 are kind of blurring together for me now.
Yeah, I know. So. Yeah, okay, yeah, the end of 8 was the reveal.
Okay.
This is when they reveal that
Okay.
So this is the first time we're seeing that they're making White Vision.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it was, again, from the comics, I know that White Vision is, after he dies, he comes back, and he has all his memories, but not his emotions, which is essentially what they're doing with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, oh my god, they're doing this with Vision, and that could be really interesting. To see an emotionless Paul Bettany Vision could be really cool. So he's almost like an Ultron, but still like a good guy.
Yeah, and I saw those memes where, it's definitely Ultron because he looked at his left hand, and Ultron, when we last saw him, he didn't have his left hand. I was like, okay.
That one I didn't see. I'm glad I didn't read that one. That one's dumb.
Oh, yeah. It was like, people were like, it's guaranteed. They prove it right here. It looks as his left hand. I was like, no, just...
No, that's nothing. Just shut up and watch the show.
Yeah.
At this point, I was like, okay, the show's going to be what the show is. None of the things matter. Hopefully we'll get Doctor Strange in the finale. But we find out, no, we don't.
No.
Episode 9, the series finale, and we get the face-off between Wanda and Agatha. And Agatha's trying to absorb her powers, and we get this super badass White Vision versus regular Vision fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only being that could take on Vision is himself.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah, here he is in white form.
It reminded me a lot of the Superman versus Zod fight in Man of Steel.
Yeah, and did you see Andrew, friend of the podcast, he shared that video?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty much pointing that out, where it was that exact almost. He's holding up Martha and holding up Wanda.
Oh, yeah.
Takes him out. They fight a little bit. They push him into the ground. The explosion, like, it was almost scene for scene, but hey, I like both, so I'm okay with it.
As per usual, Marvel did it better.
I didn't want to say it, because I do like Man of Steel. But
I do too, but Marvel did it better. Agatha name drops the Darkhold, which we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this one looks completely different.
Yeah, this one looks more like it would look.
Yeah. And as we know, the Marvel TV shows don't matter in the MCU canon, like at all.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. one just actually says Darkhold on the cover.
Exactly, yeah. But it's like sideways. It's like, that's not like a different language.
It's not just book.
Yeah. Like, what, did somebody put a cover on top of this one? So, I mean, it was nice that it was a book that we've seen before, and it is the Darkhold again, so we have an idea, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and I also love that they name drop the Sorcerer Supreme and suggest that Scarlet Witch is even more powerful than him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which could be really cool, going forward.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Especially with them teaming up next, or are they
Mhm.
teaming up, or are they fighting, or
no,
I don't
and
know.
then when we get to the post credits, like it could, if we weren't going already an hour into this, we could really dive deep, but we're not. I love when Agatha breaks the spell on the people,
Mhm.
and they start like coming to reality and going, "Please stop this." And the best part for me was when Deborah Jo Rupp from that '70s show was like, "Either let us go or kill us."
Yeah. That was
And it's
intense.
like, yeah, it's like you really are tormenting these people, and Wanda's realizing it too.
Yeah.
And she's starting to break down and be like, "Oh my God, like what have I done?" She's
Yeah.
thinking she's helping them and,
Right.
making them feel at peace like she's trying to feel. And they're like, "No, when we go to bed at night, we get your nightmares."
Yeah. When you actually let us sleep, like it's your nightmares that we have. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can kind of see that she didn't realize that things were that bad for them. That she didn't know. And
Mhm.
yeah, that'd be a lot to take on. I mean, after what's going on already, you're losing everything, and then to have all these people coming at you, like, you are torturing us. Like, I'd rather die than continue to let you torture me. It's intense.
And we'll later find out that if she lets the hex go away, then her family goes away, Vision will die, the kids will die.
Yeah.
Like, she's really screwed. And there's a nice House of M Easter egg in the way that they are breaking up in those, like, cubes.
Oh, okay.
That's a House of M Easter egg.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, of course, the now famous Ship of Theseus dialogue between the Visions.
Yeah.
One of
Which
my
is
favorite
actually
scenes.
from the comics. I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that recently.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I mean, the idea of if you replace the boards, is it still the ship? If you refurbish the boards, is it still the ship?
Yeah.
Both are true, both are not true.
Yeah.
And this idea of like, okay, is this fake Vision that Wanda created the real Vision, or is White Vision the real Vision?
Yeah.
Or are neither the real Vision?
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird, because like, since we find out at the end that Wanda made Vision for the show through the power of the Mind Stone that is inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Hayworth took the hex powers that were in the drone
Mm-hmm.
and infused them into the body of Vision.
Yes.
But it's not really Vision, so it's really interesting to see, like, neither technically are Vision, but both kind of are.
Yeah, and then after
way.
kind of giving him his I guess memories, like how much more does that change White Vision? And
Yeah.
and we don't know. He flies off, and we'll have to see later on. But yeah, like how much does he change knowing what he knows now, having all those memories and emotions and stuff?
And I think it's going to be like the comics, where it's like he remembers everything, but he doesn't have the emotional attachment to it. So he's just going to be kind of like this more cold, like Data from Star Trek kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Before he got more of a personality.
Yeah. That's,
would be
get
my
a little
guess.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a program for that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was about to say Stark will build one.
I almost did too. Yeah, I was going to say Stark will just give him an upgrade, but nope,
he won't. Ever again.
Why? Yeah, and even the kids part where they say, just at least let my child out. Like, just let her go. I'll stay.
If you want to do a side story where she plays with your kids or is the bully to your kids, that's fine. Just let her out of her room.
Yeah. It's like, geez, like how long have they been locked up? Like, are you feeding them? Like, what? What is going on, Wanda? What have you done?
She's just horrible. But she's still a hero. Because she lets him go at the end.
Yeah.
I hate to brush through the last episode because there's so much to unpack, but we really need to wrap this up soon.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of reveals, and Agatha is eventually defeated. We get this super badass reveal of the Scarlet Witch costume, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It just looks fantastic.
It does. And I know we're trying to rush, but we're gonna. I really liked how Wanda was using, I guess, the kind of secret or the tricks that she learned from Agatha of the whole
the runes.
The runes, yeah. The only who puts up the runes can use their magic, and that was clever. And I was wondering, I was like, she's missing on purpose for something. Like, what is she doing? I didn't think she was doing the runes thing. I was like, what is she? Is she making holes in certain spots to let something in or out, or like what's going on? And it was a clever reveal.
Classic movie TV trope of, oh, I'm gonna take that thing that you just taught me and use it against you.
Yeah, it still works. Works like a charm, baby.
It was nice. It was a nice little tip. And then she essentially traps Agatha in the body of Agnes, the dopey neighbor lady, and says, if I ever need you, I know where to find you. Which it makes me think that she'll be back.
Okay. I can see that. I wouldn't mind that. Catherine Hahn did great.
Yeah, she really did. That's another unsung hero of this show. I mean, everybody was great, but the ladies really brought it. I mean, Teyonah Parris did great.
Yeah.
Kat Dennings is fantastic all the time. Like, just super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get the farewell to Vision. I like that, they kind of tuck the kids in and let them go to bed.
Yeah.
Air quotes for the camera.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed we didn't see them disappear, but I also like that we didn't.
Yeah.
It made it more touching.
It did. And then with the whole line, thanks for letting me be your mom. That was really, again, man, like their farewells are spot on.
Yeah, they know how to say goodbye.
They do. Yeah, it's great.
In the series that will probably never end, they really know how to make you feel like it's over.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I mean, I was feeling it, and I looked over, my wife's bawling over there. Like wiping away tears and stuff. Like, yeah, like that. Yeah, this is tough. Like,
yeah,
they're gone.
It was effective.
Now.
It really was.
Yeah, it was. Good.
The main big things to take away this are the post credit scenes. There were two, which was awesome. Monica's called over to the theater randomly, and it turns out that the agent that ushered her over there, no pun intended, is a Skrull.
Yeah.
And she essentially says, Nick Fury is waiting for you, and then points up into space.
Yeah. He's just upstairs. That'll be the start. Oh. Yeah, she's like, oh, he's just up in the balcony? Oh, okay. You made it seem like it was space.
No, okay. Sorry. Miscommunication thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so that looked very cool. I'm excited to see her go up there and
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, is she in the space station at the end of Far From Home? We just didn't see her?
Ah, yeah.
Could be.
That's right.
I assume she will be, unless Nick Fury is in Captain Marvel 2, which he very well could be, and probably will be.
Yeah.
I assume Teyonah Parris will be in Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to come out right before Captain Marvel 2.
Okay. And I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
That's going to be good. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. And then the big one, Wanda in the mountains, and we see her kind of Incredible Hulking it out in the woods in a cabin.
That's where I went too. Yeah, Incredible Hulking. Someone else pointed something else out. Another Marvel movie. But yeah, I totally went for Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Thanos, that's what they did. And like, is she like Thanos in this? I'm like, nope. She's like Incredible Hulk in this.
Yeah, this isn't a Thanos thing. This is an Incredible Hulk thing.
Yeah, get it right.
And she gets up to make tea, and then they pan into the back room in a very weird, creepy way, like almost horror-esque.
Okay.
And you see her in her astral form, full suit, skimming through the Darkhold.
Yes.
And then you hear her kids screaming for help.
Yeah. It's like, wait, they're dead. Are they?
Or are they?
Yeah. The end. Now you have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
next March.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was very cool to that they left it open like that, and And the kids could be coming back. They could be back for a Young Avengers team up, or who knows.
I mean, they cast them very well. I mean,
Yes.
those boys did a very good job as well, and that could be what Multiverse of Madness is about. Like we said, Scarlet Witch is in that movie.
Yeah.
Why? Is she looking for, a multiverse version of Vision, of the kids, both?
Yeah, she's just going through different multiverses because she heard her kids and she knows they're out there. So that's what she's trying to find. And so I don't know.
Yeah, we really don't know how much these shows are going to tee up and tie into the movies. We know it's going to be a hell of a lot more than the Netflix and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff did.
Yeah.
Because it's Kevin Feige actually spearheading this stuff and the actual actors from the movies in these shows.
Yeah. But yeah, is it, like you're right.
See.
Is it where, you don't know what's going on because you didn't watch WandaVision, or is it this?
And I think they're going to find a balance.
You watched it? Yeah, I think they will. But
I think it's going to be like, if you watched WandaVision, this is going to make a lot more sense a lot quicker.
Okay.
But here's this.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, let's breeze through these commercials real quick. So in the first one, we had the Stark Toastmate 2000.
Yeah.
Which Stark obviously being reminiscent of, the Stark Industries missile.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the flashing red light is the flashing red light on the missile.
I do now too. Yeah. At first it was like, I don't know. Well, at first, obviously it was Mephisto.
Yeah,
so obviously
everything is Mephisto.
Yeah.
But when it's not Mephisto, it's probably the bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, so after seeing that scene, and it was, because it was flashing just like that, so yeah, I could see that.
And the tagline was, "Forget the past, this is your future."
That's right.
Which was really unsettling.
Yeah. The next commercial was the Strucker watch, and the tagline was, "He'll make time for you." Of course, Strucker is the one that did the experiments on them, so.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the Hydra logo on their watch,
symbol.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They actually made that watch. It's like $20 at Hot Topic. I might have to go buy it.
I'm surprised you aren't wearing it now.
Well, I'm tempted. They made the rings too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're online too. They're like $60, but it's like tempting.
Yeah.
The next one was Hydra Soak. Find the Goddess Within, which was a nice touch. Yeah. Hydra, of course, being the ones that manipulated them in the first place.
Yes.
This one was one of my favorites.
The Lagos paper towels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lagos, for when you make a mess you didn't mean to.
That's fantastic.
That is. Yeah. It's like, is she making these commercials? Because that's mean to yourself. Like, yeah, you're right, but man. Yeah, so Lagos, of course, was where she tried to contain the crossbones bomb. And, kind of didn't quite contain it very well. So, made a mess that she didn't mean to.
Yeah. This one was the weirdest one, obviously. The Yo Magic, which was the animated shark and the kid on the island, the snack for survivors.
This is creepy.
Very creepy. The kid tries opening the yogurt and dies trying.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out what this means, and I still could be wrong, but essentially I think Agatha is the shark, and the kid is Wanda and or her coven.
Okay.
And trying to tap into magic and her stealing the magic so they wither and die.
It fits.
Is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, that's perfect. I mean, it fits though. I got nothing, so I'll go with that.
That works.
Yeah. All right, and the last one is Nexus Anti-Depression, with the tagline Nexus, because the world doesn't revolve around you. Or does it? So
it does.
Again, kind of a kind of a punch to herself, like, no, the world doesn't revolve around you, Wanda. And well, are you sure? Because this one does. It's almost like that, yeah.
Yeah. And the Nexus in the comics is the center of the multiverse, which is, again, when they said that, I was like, multiverse?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them using Nexus and not having a foot in multiverse eventually.
Right. Okay.
But not for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Only so much we can do here.
Yeah.
Okay, we did it. We made it. I agree. It was probably longer than we expected, but I mean, it's
a
9
long show.
solid episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 9 solid ones, but they were all very fun.
6 solid ones and 3 that we could have gone through a little faster than we did.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a better idea for next time.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So our next episode is, what is our next
Iron
episode?
Man 2, I believe.
That's right. Yeah. And it's you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
'Cause you did Hulk.
That's right. So our next big episode will be Iron Man 2, where we'll it'll be similar to the same style as we've done Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. So definitely check that one out next week or episode. I don't know when that one's coming out yet. But until then, catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/wearemarvelpod. We are on Twitter, we're MarvelPod, and you can email us, wearemarvelpod. We want to thank you guys for listening, checking us out, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
If you can, review, follow us, rate us, all that stuff. We want to thank those that have done it on iTunes. I know that for sure. I don't know about the others, but yeah, we appreciate it. It helps us out.
Yeah. I think that is all of the things.
Yeah. So until next time,
we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone. It's time for a quick ad break. Head on over to Illuminerdy.com. That's spelled ILLUMINERDI.com for all of your nerdy news. They've broken some big MCU scoops lately and cover so much more, including movies, TV, comics, and horror. So go visit Illuminerdy.com today.